What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today is July 15th, 2026, and we've got a 3-game WNBA slate that is loaded with storylines. We've got the hottest team in the entire league, 18-6, winners of 3 straight, taking on a Sparks team that just can't seem to find consistency. We've got a last-place Eastern Conference team trying to snap a 2-game skid at home. And we've got a genuine measuring stick game between two of the best rosters basketball has right now. Our first game of the day is the Seattle Storm on the road against the Chicago Sky. Let's start with where these two teams actually sit in the Eastern and Western Conference races, because the standings tell a real story here. Chicago Sky sit at 7 wins and 16 losses. That's 6th in the Eastern Conference, dead last in that conference. Not a good season so far for Chicago. Seattle Storm sit at 6 wins and 19 losses. That's 15th in the Western Conference, meaning Seattle currently has the worst record in the entire WNBA. Not the 6th worst, not the 5th worst. The worst. So on paper, this is a game between two teams both looking for something to build on, but Seattle is actually coming in with the weaker overall body of work this season, win percentage-wise. Now here's where it gets interesting, because neither team is arriving hot. Let's go through the last 2 tracked outings for each club. Chicago's last 2 games. Lost on the road at Los Angeles, 102-87. Lost on the road at Dallas, 96-91. So Chicago is 0-2 in their last 2, and in both losses they were competitive but got outscored down the stretch, losing by 15 to the Sparks and by 5 to Dallas. Seattle's last 2 games. Lost on the road at Atlanta, 89-78. Lost on the road at Washington, 84-79. Seattle is also 0-2 in their last 2. 11 points to Atlanta, 5 points to Washington. So what we've actually got here is 2 teams both riding 2-game losing streaks, both playing teams that have been in the mix, and both showing they can hang in games without necessarily finishing them. Let's talk pace and scoring, because this matters for our total pick. In their last 2 games, Chicago scored 87 and 91 points, an average of 89 points scored per game, while allowing 102 and 96, an average of 99 points allowed. That's a team getting outscored by about 10 points a night recently. Seattle, in their last 2, scored 78 and 79, an average of 78.5 points per game, while allowing 89 and 84, an average of 86.5 allowed. Seattle's actually been the lower scoring team in raw pace of the 2, both offensively and defensively. Their games have been trending toward the mid-160s in total points, while Chicago's have been trending closer to the high 180s. Now, the league's own win probability model has Chicago favored at home, 55.4% for the Sky, 44.6% for Seattle. And I think that lines up with logic even beyond just home court. Chicago, despite the head-to-head recent losing streak, has scored more consistently than Seattle has, and they're getting this one at home. For my side pick, I'm going with the Chicago Sky, at home, to beat the Seattle Storm. This isn't a lock the game in and walk-away type pick. Seattle's kept every recent game within single digits, but between the slight scoring edge, the better overall record, and home court, I'm leaning Chicago in a game that I expect to be closer than the standings might suggest on paper. For my total pick, I slightly lean over 170.5 points. Neither of these teams has been part of a shootout recently. Both have hovered in that 160 to high 180 range. So my lean here is over 170.5 points. 2 bottom of the standings defenses playing at a mid-tier pace is not a game I want to bet the over blindly, and to be honest, I will personally avoid betting on the total here. Game 2 of the day, and this is a big one. Los Angeles Sparks on the road, Minnesota Lynx at home. This is not a close comparison in the standings. Minnesota Lynx are 18 wins and 6 losses. That's the best winning percentage in the entire WNBA right now, sitting at .750. This is the team to beat this season, full stop. Los Angeles Sparks are sitting at 10 wins and 12 losses, a middle-of-the-pack team having an up-and-down year at .455. So we're talking about a 300-plus point gap in winning percentage between these two rosters. That's about as lopsided a standings picture as you'll see on a given slate. Let's dig into the actual game by game, because Minnesota's recent stretch backs up the record completely. Minnesota's last 3 games: beat Connecticut at home, 86-80. Beat New York on the road, 90-85. Beat Phoenix at home, 104-100. That's 3 straight wins for the Lynx, and notice something: 2 different Eastern Conference caliber opponents and a shootout win over Phoenix where they actually had to work for it, 104-100. This is a team finding different ways to win. Los Angeles' last 3 games: beat Indiana at home, 106-92. Beat Chicago at home, 102-87. Lost on the road at Atlanta, 101-92. So the Sparks are actually 2-1 in their last 3, which is a better recent stretch than you might expect. They put up 2 blowout wins at home, 106 and 102 points, before dropping a competitive road game to Atlanta. The concerning part for Sparks fans: those 2 wins came at home, and today they're on the road against by far the best team in the league. This is where things get fun for anyone thinking about the total. Minnesota's last 3 games, they scored 86, 90, and 104, averaging 93.3 points a game, while allowing 80, 85, and 100, averaging 88.3 allowed. Their game totals were 166, 175, and 204. That Phoenix game alone tells you Minnesota's offense can get rolling into the triple digits when the matchup allows it. LA's last 3, they scored 106, 102, and 92, averaging exactly 100 points a game, while allowing 92, 87, and 101, averaging 93.3 allowed. Their totals: 198, 189, and 193. LA has been in 3 straight high-scoring affairs. Blend those 2 profiles together and you get a combined average projected total in the range of 187 to 188 points. Both of these teams have been scoring at a fast, modern pace, and neither has been shutting teams down defensively in their last 3 outings. The league win probability model has this one heavily lopsided: Minnesota at 86.1%, Los Angeles at just 13.9%. That's about as close to a chalk favorite as you'll find on a given day. Best record in the league, at home, on a 3-game win streak, against a middle-of-the-pack road team. For my side pick, I'm not going to overthink this one, and I will pick Minnesota Lynx at home to win this game. Best team in the league, 3 straight wins including a statement performance over a good Phoenix team, at home, against a Sparks team that just lost its previous game on the road. If you're looking at the spread and Minnesota's number feels uncomfortably large, I understand the instinct to fade a big favorite, but everything in the data here, form, scoring margin, home court, points to Minnesota controlling this game. For my total pick, I like over 181.5 points. Given the combined average of roughly 187 to 188 points across both teams' last 3 games, and the fact that Minnesota just hung 104 on Phoenix while LA has scored 90+ in 3 straight, I'm leaning over on the total here. This has the profile of a track meet, a top offense at home against a Sparks team that, even in its loss to Atlanta, still put up 92. Our third and final game of the day, and it's the nightcap: Golden State Valkyries on the road against the Indiana Fever. This is genuinely one of the better matchups you'll find on a random slate. Indiana Fever sit at 14 wins and 9 losses. That's first place in the entire Eastern Conference, a .609 winning percentage. Golden State Valkyries sit at 17 wins and 7 losses. That's tied for the 3rd best record in the league, a .708 winning percentage, trailing only Minnesota and tied with Las Vegas. So this is legitimately a top of the standings clash, the best team in the East hosting one of the best teams in the entire league. Recent form: Indiana's last 3 games. Lost on the road at Los Angeles, 92-106. Won on the road at Phoenix, 92-89. Won on the road at Las Vegas, 109-75. So Indiana is 2-1 in their last 3, and that Las Vegas result jumps off the page: 109 points, a 34-point margin, on the road against a Vegas team that's had one of the better records in the league. That's a statement win. Golden State's last 2 track games. One on the road at Toronto, 83-75. One on the road at Connecticut, 79-64. Golden State is 2-0 in their last 2, both on the road, both by comfortable margins, an 8-point win and a 15-point win. This is a team that has been taking care of business away from home, which matters tonight since they're on the road again. Indiana's last 3, they scored 92, 92, and 109, averaging 97.7 a game, while allowing 106, 89, and 75, averaging 90 allowed. Their totals, 198, 181, and 184. Golden State's last 2, they scored 83 and 79, averaging 81 a game, while allowing 75 and 64, averaging 69.5 allowed. Their totals, 158 and 143. That's a real contrast in style. Indiana's games have been trending toward the high 180s in combined scoring. Golden State's have been trending much lower, into the mid-140s to high 150s. That's a team built around a slower pace and real defensive control, allowing under 70 points a game in their last 2 outings. Blend those together and my projected total lands right around 169 to 170 points, noticeably lower than what we projected for the earlier Minnesota-LA game, because Golden State's defense has been genuinely stingy lately. The win probability model has Indiana favored at home, 58.1% to 41.9% for Golden State. That's a real favorite, but not an overwhelming one. This reads as a legitimate toss-up adjacent game between 2 quality rosters, with Indiana getting a bump for home court and that emphatic recent win over Las Vegas. For my side pick, I slightly lean Indiana Fever money line. This is the closest call of the day for me. Indiana's been terrific. That 109-point outburst against Las Vegas is hard to ignore, and they've got the better recent scoring trend in home court. But Golden State's defense has been suffocating opponents in its last 2 games, and a team allowing under 70 points a night on the road is not a team I want to completely dismiss. This is the one game today where I call Golden State a live, legitimate underdog with real value if you like fading a moderate home favorite. This isn't a game I'd bet heavily on either side. For my total pick, I like under 169 points. With Golden State's defense playing the way it has, under 70 points allowed in each of their last 2, and my blended projection landing around 169 to 170, I'm leaning under here. Indiana's offense has flashed some big numbers, but Golden State has been the more defensively disciplined team of late, and I think that shows up tonight in a lower scoring, more controlled game than the earlier Minnesota-LA track meet. That's the full slate for July 15th, 3 games, 3 side picks, 3 total picks, all built off real standings, real recent form, and real scoring trends, not guesswork. If this kind of breakdown is useful to you, drop a like, it genuinely helps the channel grow, and subscribe if you want daily WNBA slate breakdowns all season long. Let me know in the comments which of these 3 games you're most locked into, and if you've got a completely different lean than I do on any of them, I want to hear the case. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.